reasons. We can go into many other things about Last Temptation, but the most important thing in relation to this film is that as he left the dinner, he said, "I'm going to give you a book. It's about faith, and take a look at it. I think if you ever want to do something like this again, that might be the one." Never saw him again. And I got the book within 2 days, and I was obliged to finish making Goodfellas, which I started, stopped, went to Last Temptation, came back to Goodfellas. And at the end of Goodfellas, I had to go to Japan to be in a film for Akira Kurosawa, play a part in it, and Hokkaido, actually. And we just finished shooting Goodfellas. It was August '89, and I finished the book with me in Japan on the bullet train from Tokyo to Kyoto, and I knew this was the place to go. I knew there was more than which at times one can say. I think about it myself. No matter how much conviction I had about Last Temptation, often I would be just as interested in commenting and not reinventing, but revising the biblical epic as a film. The film itself got in the way. It was unimportant, really. I shouldn't have. But I did become very obsessed with the iconography, and I realized after all that had happened, there's something deeper than that. Or maybe I'm misinterpreting the iconography. What does that mean? What do the images really mean to you spiritually? So let's go deeper, And this had it. The only thing is, after I read on bulletins, I thought I'm going to do it. I don't know how to do it. How do you do that? How do you interpret those last 20 pages of a scene where he steps on the thing?
And it took years of you and Jay Cox putting the
Jay and I tried, we got the rights to the picture, and then people had the rights. Really, they got into difficulties when he became a senator, but he was incarcerated then, and he gave the right.
It's a movie itself.
That's from 1990 on, and I just saw him 3 weeks ago in Rome.
He's out.
He's out.
All right. Well, let's just talk about the key things that had to be overcome, aside from people being, out of jail, were that you have two terrific producers,
yes,
Erwin Winkler and Emma Koskov, yes, who are here, and this is not just I know that there were legal reasons, all kinds of things that held up even further the production.
Chain of title, all kinds of monies that were put against the picture that somehow disappeared. I don't know what, I think they paid back before anybody could seriously move ahead and make the picture. All these people have to be paid back. It's a lot of money. The picture's a low budget, right? In that sense. So also a market for this kind of movie. They said, well, wants to see this. So it has to be made even lower budget. So all these things were held against it. Erwin, whom I know since 1974, when he saw Mean Streets at the New York Film Festival, we started talking. Now we made New York together. We made Raging Bull, made Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street, and a couple of others, I think. And so over the years, we stayed, very close. Erwin always had the ability to get to the heart of the issue. It just kept going, or it kept pushing it. So when I was doing Hugo, he came up to me and said, what's happening with silence? Do you want to do that? I said, yes, I've been trying, but now it's tied up in all these legal issues. So he got into that around that time. Anna's been with me since the end of, after we did Aviator, and she has become producing Hugo, producing Wolf of Wall Street.
And in regard to this, I think one place where I believe she was very instrumental was with you guys ended up making this in Taiwan,
yeah, she's the one, yeah.
And that involves locations, that involves actors, that there's obviously a language barrier, all this stuff.
All of this, yeah. Language, all the Japanese, Chinese, Italian, and many different dialects. In any event, she was able to work out. Ang Lee suggested checking out Taiwan, and right around, I think, before that, you've gone to New Zealand, Northern California, North Carolina, Vancouver, and Australia. And they were talking about going to South America, but nobody did the overnight wonders. Because somebody had to finance these
Right.
location scouts.
And furthermore, once you lined up this generation of actors, because you look at generations.
Oh, yeah, generations of actors that got too old by the time.
Right.
The guys with, white hair.
So once you got these guys who were delighted to work with you, I believe for scale.
Nobody got paid.
I want to ask you to just comment about if they, the level of their commitment to you in this film, because I recently had a chance to interview Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver. Adam Driver lost 51 pounds. Andrew Garfield, I don't remember the exact figure, but a lot. And also, that's the physical manifestation. But these guys, Andrew, I think there was a year of study, right?
Yeah. Well, we had agreed upon, he agreed to do the role about a year before we actually got started. And he took the time and met with Father James Martin, the Jesuit, who was a wonderful writer and editor of American Magazine. And he put him through the 30 days of the spiritual exercises of the Jesuits, which is extremely difficult. Adam had a touch of it, and he also was a guy. They both of them wound up in a silent retreat in Wales. They couldn't say anything to each other. Looking at each other. But after they came out, they were talking, of course. But everything, learning the Latin, everything you can think of. The biggest thing was that over the years, as you say, certain generations of actors went by. Of course, some who really wanted to do it. However, there were 2 or 3 that I really wanted them to try to do the film. This is in the late 90s, mid 2000s. And after long meetings, long discussions, reading scripts, they finally, 3 of them at least, told me, I don't believe it. It's not for me. I couldn't care about this sort of thing. I don't care about faith. I'm not religious at all. And in fact, some of the people I know who were ministers are real phonies. And I said, I cannot bring myself to I cannot put myself in that world of that character for that long and believe it as an actor. I said, all right, and Andrew did. Now he believes it. I'm not sure, and what does one believe, but he was willing and embraced being that. I mean, what you see there on screen, him and Adam too, but primarily with Andrew, I would get there in the morning and get ready and going. I said, okay, where is he? And I'd see him off in the distance just walking around, so that we corral him, put him in, a little bit of what he needed to know, or nothing, and sometimes don't even use a slate, and just start going. And he looked at me and said, this way, and we keep going. But there were times that I couldn't say anything to him because of what he was looking at as a person, especially the jail cells.
Well, and then I want to ask you about some of these moments of great consequence in the story, where how it worked on set, where when you have people that are that immersed in their character. For instance, in the scene where we don't have to say spoiler alert for people who've just seen the movie, the actual apostatization. What was the filming of that moment actually like?
Well, it's something I've done over the years, and I learned it from being around an actor as sensitive, let's say, as De Niro in the 70s, and Harvey. I tell too at times that Harvey did. But De Niro, particularly like Raging Bull, I saw on Taxi Driver, I could sense it, where no extraneous talk, just let's get in there. Crew, quiet. Yeah. And if there's something convenient for the crew to move around a certain way, but the actor needs to do it because it's got to come through him or her, and so it was this kind of creation of an atmosphere that is very hard to do when you're shooting in the streets, But here, the atmosphere was such that we had it all laid out. We had it worked out with Liam, we had it worked out with Issei, we had it worked out with Asano, Tabenabo Asano, who was the interpreter. We had everything worked out, we had the cameras set up, and it wasn't even go get Andrew, just let him arrive. And it was that night. until he'd wind up, even on the beach, that scene where he just wound up seeing his friend drown. I tried at the same time shooting what he was seeing on the beach, so it was happening simultaneously, almost like live TV in a way, to get that reaction. So he's reacting to what he's seeing there for real. You know.
So just as a final question, I wonder, I don't know if you've ever spent this much time in terms of the gestation of a single project, and I just wonder, having now come through it, and not only come through it, but there's been great reception. You've already been awarded Best Adapted Screenplay by the National Board of Review, all kinds of things. And to the extent that a week or two ago, probably at the same trip when you visit your associate who's now out of jail, you also visited another person who I think maybe was an even more special visit. And I'll leave it to you to just share about that, because I think that maybe,
The Pope.
yeah, the Pope. So, who is of Jesuit descent
Yes.
himself.
I believe he's the first Pope to be a Jesuit Pope, the
Right.
first one. I had really nothing to do with the arrangement of that. It had to do with one of our main financiers, Gaston Pavlovich, and he worked it out, and I couldn't quite believe that was going to happen. I mean, I can understand going back and showing the film to, we showed it the day before in this place called the Oriental to all Jesuits from all over the world, especially Asian Jesuits. And so this was something else entirely, and I didn't really quite expect that to happen. And it was, you know, meeting the Pope was extraordinary. My family was with me, and he blessed the family and explained a little about the film. He knows the book. It turns out that he wanted to be a missionary in Japan, but was not allowed. It said, you know, vowed obedience. They put in other places, I guess. But in any event, he just hoped that the film would generate a good conscience in a way, a discussion, a dialogue, and said to pray for him. He said I can use it. And that night we showed the film in the Vatican, which was a Palazzo San Carlo. It was called. It was a room smaller than this, and the screen wasn't very big, but it was a life-size crucifix over it, the arms outstretched, with no cross, just a figure. And that night, about 100 people. It was all the financiers, and you know, it was a very diverse group of financiers from Mexico, from Italy, from Israel. I mean, really, I mean, all with tears in their eyes. It's something. It was very unique that night. We had a very nice dinner afterwards, but I didn't. As I say, I hadn't expected that to be such an official level.
Chapter of a big chapter of your life, and you know, it now goes out to the world. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for